Today we're going to show you all how to make cassava bakes. Trinbagonian bake is a traditional Caribbean bread known for its rich flavor and soft, slightly dense texture. Made with flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, coconut. It's kneaded into a dough, shaped and baked until golden brown. This local staple is enjoyed with cheese, buljols, or by itself. Alright, so the first step for our bakes is we have to knead it, of course. So here we have our lotus, cassava, and wheat flour. So one of the huge benefits of this flour is that we don't need to do any maths, because normally when you're using flours like cassava, breadfruit, these type of flours, there's a ratio of like all-purpose flour or whole wheat flour to the additive, the cassava, the breadfruit, whatever, etc. So, but what Lotus has done, they have already blended this for us. So this is a blend of cassava and wheat flour. So you don't have any work to do. So here in the bowl we have our cassava and wheat flour. To that we're going in with some brown sugar for color and sweetness, salt to elevate all the flavors, baking powder to give our bakes that light, airy texture, and instant yeast to help rise and make our bakes fluffy and light, very similar to the baking powder. So we're gonna add these 4 ingredients in and give it a good mix before we add in our water. Now we're not gonna add in our fat, which in this case is unsalted butter or coconut as yet, because we wanna give the protein in the flour a chance to bind and gain some structure. Right, so now that we have that well incorporated, just making a little hole in the middle, and we go in with our water. And the water is really just to hydrate our flour and help bring everything together. So that's what we're gonna do now. Because we adding in the fat or unsalted butter later, I'm expecting a somewhat dry mix here, but that's okay, because once you add in the fat at the later stage, it will soften up and add moisture to your bake. So I just want to break up the clumps just to help hydrate as much flour as possible. Whenever you're kneading or working with flour in general, you have to factor in time, temperature, water. So temperature, in this instance, the humidity of the room. So here in the Caribbean, it's very humid. So I may have to use less water when compared to someone in a cooler environment, or because that air is a lot cooler and drier. Now, even though you're following a recipe, it's always good to have a little extra flour and water on hand. So you see here on this side I still have some dry mix, and to the other side I have all that's combined. So I'm just going to get some water. I'm just adding a little at a time. Right, so now that most of it has combined, now we could add in our butter, and this is at room temperature, so it's a lot more malleable, easier to work with. Temperature of your ingredients are very important. It makes life a lot easier when all the ingredients are at the same temperature, or to help speed up the process at a warmer temperature in some cases. Right, so I'm just breaking up the flour mixture to help incorporate the butter. Of course, if you have a standing mixer, by all means you could use that. But this is not much flour, so you could do this by hand. And just want to break up any remaining clumps of of butter. Right, and now we're going to add in our grated coconut. Coconut also adds moisture. Right, let me just bring it together. So once this has come together, we're going to cover it. A warm damp cloth, a cover, if your bowl has a cover, or some cling wrap. And you want to let this rise until double in size. It should take about an hour or 90 minutes or so, depending on the temperature of your room. So with inclusions too, you also have to be mindful of how much you add in. You just say, obviously you want to add enough so that you know what you're eating, you're tasting it. In this instance, the coconut. But you don't want to add too much, because it will break up the protein strands within the flour. And you need structure to help leaven your bake, help it rise, create those little air pockets. I'll give it a light texture at the end. It will look a little rough because, as I said, this has inclusions in it. So it will look a little rough, but what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna cover it, warm damp cloth, cling wrap, cover, and let it rise until double in size. All right, so as we can see here, our bake has doubled in size. It actually did not take a whole hour. So again, as I said earlier, it depends on the temperature of your working environment. Here in the Caribbean, it's very humid, so it's not gonna take as long. So we're just gonna degas and pull our bake out of our bowl. And we're gonna divide in half, because half we're using as a regular bake. The other half we're gonna be making mini bakes. So I'm just gonna take this one and we just wanna shape. And again, the roughness is because of the inclusions. There's nothing to worry about. Just gonna shape this bad boy and pull him to my left. And we're gonna get started on the mini bakes. So for the minis now, just gonna make like a little log and see if I could get 5, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, of course, if you want to be super accurate, you could just pull your scale out and weigh it. Just get them into round bakes. Of course, you could do this on the counter, you could do this on your hand. Okay, and then just eyeballing to adjust. Right, just shape this a little better. What I'm doing, I'm just pulling, tucking the sides underneath it. Using my hand like the counter just to show you all on an elevated level. And that's it basically, so you just pull these ones to the side. Here we have a greased baking sheet. Let's get our big boy up. So if you want, you could just flatten it with your hand, or if you prefer a rolling pin, you could do that too. But as you can see how soft and light our bake is, we don't really need to do much rolling with the rolling pin. So I'm just gonna pick him up and place him on this side here, and then even here, I'll just shape him somewhat to keep that round shape. And then for our mini bakes, same thing. You could press it with your hand just like this and place them. Or if you prefer the rolling pin, just give it a light press to the rolling pin and place them. Yeah. Press this one with my hand. It's in the middle. Right, so we're going straight into the oven. All right, so here we have it set at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Placing it in the center rack for even cooking. Try and get it as centered as possible. And this will bake for about 25 to 30 minutes, and halfway through we'll come back and show you all so we could rotate. We had 15-minute mark here for our bake. So let's pull it out. Can't keep this door open for too long, but that's enough to show you all. So you just need to rotate now for even cooking, even coloring. Back in just to finish off another 15 minutes. All right, so time has elapsed. Switched off the oven. Let me show you. Look at that. Golden brown color. That's what we're looking for. So we're gonna transfer them to our wire rack now. See that golden brown color on top? See any flakes of the cassava that risen to the top? And then you can check the bottom. Look at that. Look at that golden brown hollow song when you knock it. That lets you know it's fully cooked. And that's what we're looking for. Let's check our bad boy here. Flip him over. Same thing. Hollow song, golden brown color. So you're going to immediately transfer them to this wire rack where they're going to hang out until completely cooled. Once cool, we're going to slice that big boy and show you all. All right, so now it's time to cut. Our bake is fully cooled. And our neighbor has also decided to drill. So we apologize for that. Make some space. Let you all get to see the inside of it while I slice. Oh yeah. Look at that. Oh yeah. See all these specks of the coconut. So you see all these specks of coconut. You can even see so many. Again, we apologize for the drilling. You can even see the coconut. As I was saying, you can even see some of these specks of cassava. It's light to the touch. Still a little dense, but remember, that's roast pig. That's what we want. You know, that is the quintessential texture. That's the texture it's known to have. And of course, now is the time you put a piece of cheese in there, some buljol, really and truly anything you want. Egg, any type of choker, and you enjoy. And just like with the other one, specks of coconut, specks of cassava, light but still slightly dense texture. That's what we want. And I mean, it's perfect. It's a perfect vessel for anything. You can even make burgers with this. It's really unlimited. So again, you know, we want to thank you all so much for joining us, continuing to support us. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, and of course, send us pics when you all make our cassava and whole wheat coconut bake. Thank you all. Bye.